ॐ भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us now pray together. Yeah, pray loudly, it is, that is why it is put on the screen there, so that everybody can speak it out. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, Thou abidest in all. Thou art all. Thou assumest all forms. Thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss. Salutations unto Thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace. Peace be unto all. Welcome, friends, for this very special service. Special in the sense, today from morning we have been celebrating the birth anniversary of Sri Ramakrishna, and this is an important aspect of that celebration. There is, of course, the prayers and worship, singing, and then eating the prasad. All that was very good. Nothing to find fault with it, but that needs to be augmented with some understanding about Sri Ramakrishna. Imbibe that, and thus make this birthday spiritually beneficial for us. So that is how we remember Sri Ramakrishna. And so always with the birthday celebration, there is this component of looking at the great teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, and we hear from the practitioners of the spiritual discipline that Sri Ramakrishna has outlined, those who are very good students and put those teachings in practice. So we have two youthful speakers who will be presenting us. Both have been associated with this teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, teachings of Vedanta for quite some time. And so it will be wonderful for us to listen to that. But before that, there will be a singing of a wonderful hymn written by a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. His name was Swami Abhedananda, a great composer of poems in Sanskrit as well as in Bengali. And surely he was an orator with great skills of knowledge, that bringing the substance of any subject in an organized form and presenting it. He spent 20 plus years at the Vedanta Society of New York. So before going back to India. So, and his lectures were so very attractive, in spite of being deeply philosophical. There are, Swami Vivekananda's complete works, 8 or now 9 volumes. Abhedananda's are already, 10 volumes are already there. And very tremendously informative and insightful. So he has composed many hymns on Sri Ramakrishna. This is one of them, praying to Sri Ramakrishna that may your blessings be on us. And the singers are our regular wonderful singers, very skilled. So I request them to begin.
त्यागम् अदृष्टपूर्वम् दृष्ट कथं न वेद्म हे राम कृष्ण त्वयि भक्तिहीने कृपाकटाक्षं गुरुदेव नित्यं हे राम कृष्ण ते नाम भवन्ति भक्ता दृष्ट्वा वयं त्वां न तु भक्तियुक्ता हे राम कृष्ण त्वयि भक्तिहीने कृपाकटाक्षं गुरुदेव नित्यं हे राम कृष्ण सत्यं विभूषान्तम् अनादिरूपं प्रसादये त्वाम् अजमन्त्रशून्यम् हे राम कृष्ण त्वयि भक्तिहीने कृपाकटाक्षं गुरुदेव नित्यं हे राम कृष्ण जानामि तत्त्वं न हि दैशिकेन्द्र किं ते स्वरूपं किमु भावजातं किं ते स्वरूपं किमु भावजातं हे राम कृष्ण त्वयि भक्तिहीने कृपाकटाक्षं गुरुदेव नित्यं हे राम कृष्ण हे राम कृष्ण हे राम कृष्ण
Very good presentation, excellent. The first to speak will be our friend for many years, Chris Sparks. He has, studied various different streams, including philosophy, and very much interested in spiritual streams of different religious disciplines. And he has been coming here for a long time now. He has spoken from this platform before as well, and we know how nice he speaks. So, Chris, please.
Dear Swamiji and devotees, on April 8th of this year, a total solar eclipse will take place all across the United States. The next solar eclipse that will be visible from America will take place on August 23rd, 2044. So we decided as a family, Emily, Mira, Adya, and myself, now is the time to head to Rochester, or Vermont, to see this once-in-a-lifetime spectacular occurrence. Now, when viewing a total solar eclipse, special eye protection is necessary. If one stares directly at an eclipse without proper glasses, you can get what's called eclipse blindness or solar retinopathy. Special solar viewing glasses filter out harmful ultraviolet, visible, and infrared radiation, reducing the sun's light to a safe level for direct viewing. When we look closely at Thakur and seek to understand him, it's a bit like looking into thousands of blazing suns. His life and personality are luminosity itself. We're left speechless and in awe. So, how to think on Thakur? How to view his luminosity safely, as it were? There are innumerable lenses we can metaphorically put on to view his life, but for the purposes of this talk, I decided to view Thakur through the lens of myth. Is Sri Ramakrishna a myth? In modern times, we sometimes speak of myth pejoratively, as if myths were falsehoods. Lightning is atmospheric discharge, silly, not the bolts of Zeus or Indra. But for most of human civilization, myths were the stories that provided a pathway by which people could glimpse the truth and understand our world. When I was in 8th grade, middle school, my English teacher introduced me to Joseph Campbell's Hero with a Thousand Faces and the concept of monomyth. Joseph Campbell, the American writer, and Sarah Lawrence College professor, identified 4 functions of myth. The first function of myth is the mystical function, which opens the world to a dimension of mystery, to realize the mystery that underlies all forms. The second function is the cosmological function, seeing the mystery as manifest through all things. The universe becomes, as it were, a holy picture. You are always addressed to the transcendent mystery through that, says Campbell. The third function of myth is the sociological function, maintaining and validating a certain social order, norms, ethical values, etc. What revered Swami Raghunathanandaji referred to as eternal values for a changing society. And the fourth function of myth, Campbell called the pedagogical function, namely, how to live a human lifetime under any circumstances. This last aspect is perhaps the most important function of myth in the lives of sincere spiritual aspirants. Let's attempt then briefly to bear witness to Thakur, the myth, through each of these aspects. Thakur is a mystery. His life invites us to share in this mystery. As we meditate on him, we connect with the transcendent reality. It's hard to understand the process by which this happens, but it's an inescapable fact that it does. We are simply in awe, and our lives are transformed. Thakur's purity, power, grace, compassion, renunciation, detachment are unmatched. The hymn, The Thousand Glories of Ramakrishna, addresses Thakur as follows: Salutations to him who is the ocean into which all the rivers of religion merge. Salutations to him who resides in the hearts of true devotees. Salutations to him who is the object of meditation for ascetics, yogis, and renunciates. Salutations to him who grants liberation to those who are devoid of attachment. The mystical function of myth connects us to the very source of our being, God, the transcendent reality. As human beings, we have an unrestricted desire to understand the whole of reality. The cosmological function of myth provides us with an explanation of the origins and structure of the universe. Thakur demonstrates that God alone is real and the world is an appearance. Once Thakur said, "The Mother," referring to the Divine Mother, "reveals to me that she herself has become everything." Thakur realized the whole world is a manifestation of the Divine Mother. For Thakur, it is the Divine Mother who exists in the form of the universe and pervades everything as consciousness. He explained that reality, when inactive, is called Brahman, the Purusha, and Shakti, or Prakriti, when engaged in creation, preservation, and destruction. He who is Purusha is also Prakriti. Both are embodiments of bliss, he proclaims. Addressing Shakti, he would ask himself, "My mother, who is my mother?" His answer, "She is the mother of the universe, who creates and preserves the world, who always protects her children, and who grants whatever they desire, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha." As followers of his teachings, we glimpse the nature of reality and can understand, to an extent, our place within the cosmic scheme. Revered Swami Raghunathanandaji's Eternal Values for a Changing Society is a masterwork on the innumerable ways in which Thakur's life sheds light on the ethical dimensions of society. For the purposes of this talk, I'd like to focus on one specific dimension of Thakur's sociological function, namely his intense love for humanity. Jesus said, "Do not suppose that I come to dismantle the law or the prophets. I do not come to dismantle, but to fulfill. For truly, I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one iota or letter stroke will ever pass away from the law until all is accomplished. Love one another as I have loved you." This is Jesus' essential ethical teaching, his final commandment. Likewise, Thakur held human beings as the highest manifestation of God. In this way, he teaches us how to regard others, to see the divinity within our fellow beings, and to worship and serve them accordingly. We see how his devotees were bound together with a cord of love, and how the distinctions between them melted away when they worshiped the divine together. It is this love that gave rise to the Ramakrishna Math and Mission and our Vedanta societies, Atmano Mokshartam Jagat Hitaya Cha, for one's salvation and for the welfare of the world. Referring to the caste system, Thakur explained, the caste system can be removed by one means only, and that is love of God. Lovers of God do not belong to any caste. The mind, body, and soul of man become purified through divine love. Chaitanya and Nityananda scattered the name of Hari to everyone, including the pariah, and embraced them all. In our broken world today, this message is a healing balm. Now, let us take up the fourth mythological function of Thakur's life, namely the pedagogical function. How to live a human lifetime under any circumstances. Here we get to the heart of Thakur's teachings, as explicated by his foremost disciple, Swami Vivekananda. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Swamiji reconfirms what Thakur repeatedly says. The goal of human life is to realize God, to love God. And love for God, bhakti, is the one essential thing. Thakur has blazed the trail. It is for us to set out on the journey and walk the path. We don't walk alone. He is our true companion. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai.
Thank you, dear Chris, for this very deep philosophical presentation, very helpful. Now our second speaker is Ananya Chaudhary. She is a tech person, a modern person. They're all techs. So she will be the other speaker about Sri Ramakrishna, and I'm sure we will be listening to something very different than what Chris was speaking about. So please, Ananya.
Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. My humble pranams to Maharaj and my dear devotees and friends. When I think of Sri Ramakrishna, I cannot help but think of Ma Bhavatarini, the Divine Mother Kali in the Dakshineshwar temple. Her name is Bhavatarini, which means the one who takes us across the ocean of life and death, the one who liberates us. With her grace, I've had the fortune to visit the Dakshineshwar temple many times, and the majesty and the divine aura Ma Bhavatarini emanates is truly wonderful to see. My today's subject is the divine play of Sri Ramakrishna and Mother Kali. Sri Ramakrishna's relationship with Mother Kali is extremely fascinating and very mysterious at times. So we'll embark on a journey through Sri Ramakrishna's life and try to unfurl this mystery. Let's start with Sri Ramakrishna's boyhood days in Kamarpukur. His first encounter with the Divine Mother seems to have happened when he took a pilgrimage along with some local women of the village to the Vishalakshi temple in Annur. We saw that in the film today. On the way, while singing devotional songs on Mother, he suddenly went into trance, attaining Bhava Samadhi, and the Divine Mother's name had to be uttered to bring back his consciousness of this world. A couple of years later, when Sri Ramakrishna was about 16 years old, he accompanied his elder brother Ramkumar to Jhamapukur in Calcutta so that Ramkumar can supervise Sri Ramakrishna's education. Well, we all know what happened to that education. But during this time, Sri Ramakrishna actually started visiting and spending hours in the Siddheshwari Kali temple at Thantania in Calcutta. Locals knew about Sri Ramakrishna's melodious voice, and upon their request, he would happily sing songs to the Divine Mother for hours. Eventually, within 2-3 years, when Sri Ramakrishna moved to the Dakshineshwar temple and had to undertake the priestly duties for Mother Kali, he received his initiation from a noble guru of those days named Kenaram Bhattacharya, who planted the seed of Mother Kali in Sri Ramakrishna's heart forever. It is said that as soon as the sacred mantra was uttered in Sri Ramakrishna's ears, overwhelmed with religious fervor, he gave a loud cry and plunged into deep concentration, which astonished the Guru. All along, Ramkumar, Sri Ramakrishna's elder brother, played a central role in Sri Ramakrishna's life since their father had passed away when Sri Ramakrishna was merely a boy of 7 years old. Soon after Sri Ramakrishna became the permanent priest at the Kali temple, he was shocked to learn that Ram Kumar had breathed his last while traveling back to their village. Losing Ram Kumar was like losing his father all over again, which drove deep into his mind the impermanence and the transitoriness of this world. He sought refuge in Mother Kali straight away. He began to shun the company of worldly people and completely spent all day long in the temple, day after day, crying and shedding tears profusely for a vision of his Mother Kali. Sitting before the image, he would spend hours singing devotional songs of great devotees of Mother like Kamalakanta and Ram Prasad. Those songs describing the direct vision of God only intensified Sri Ramakrishna's longing. He felt the pangs of a child who is denied the vision of his mother and would rub his face against the ground and weep bitterly in agony. When everybody was asleep, he spent his nights absorbed in prayer and meditation in solitude in the dense jungle near the temple. As Sri Ramakrishna's love for Mother Kali deepened, he could not continue the formalities of the worship. Sometimes, in moments of despair and skepticism, he would cry out to Mother and say, "Are you true? Can one really see you? Or is it a mere figment of my imagination? If you're real, then I must see you, Mother." He would pray and cry that you've shown yourself to great devotees like Ram Prasad. Why won't you show yourself to me? To ordinary people, he began to behave in abnormal and insane manner. Sometimes he would sit in the temple like an inert object for hours. And most of the time, being unconscious of the world, he almost gave up food and sleep altogether. Noticing this, Mathur Babu, the son-in-law and in charge of Rani Rashmani's estates, was wonderstruck and told the Rani one day, "We have a wonderful priest. Very soon, the Divine Mother is going to be awakened here in this temple." And indeed, very soon, the soul-stirring hunger and intense restlessness consumed Sri Ramakrishna to an extent that the Divine Mother could not keep herself hidden any longer. Let's recollect the first vision of Mother Kali as described by Sri Ramakrishna. "I felt as if my heart were being squeezed like a wet towel." In Bengal and in India, there's a kind of a variety of very thin, lightweight, generally red-colored towel used called gamcha, which soaks water heavily, and after you're done using it, you squeeze it real hard to get the water out of it. And that's what he's referring to. "I felt as if my heart were being squeezed like a wet towel. I was overpowered with a great restlessness and a fear that I may not be able to realize her in this life. I could not bear the separation from her any longer. Life seemed to be not worth living. Suddenly, my glance fell on the sword that was kept in the mother's temple. I determined to put an end to my life. When I jumped up like a madman and seized it, suddenly the Blessed Mother revealed herself. The buildings with their different parts, the temple, and everything else vanished from my sight, leaving no trace whatsoever, and in their stead, I saw a limitless, infinite, effulgent ocean of consciousness. As far as the eyes could see, the shining billows were madly rushing at me from all sides with a terrific noise to swallow me up. I was panting for breath. I was caught in the rush and collapsed unconscious. What was happening in the outside world, I did not know, but within me, there was a steady flow of undiluted bliss, altogether new, and I felt the presence of the Divine Mother. On his lips, when he regained consciousness of the world, was the word Mother." Later, he also says to his disciples that during this time, the Mother revealed to him that it is she herself who has become everything. This was a major turning point in Sri Ramakrishna's life, and from then onwards, Sri Ramakrishna was on a never-ceasing divine communion with his Mother Kali. The relation was so intimate that he always saw and spoke to her in person. Mother Kali would merry like a little girl running around in the temple courtyard wearing her anklets. And listening to that sound, Sri Ramakrishna would come out of his room, and one day he sees the mother going upstairs to the temple balcony, and she views the side of Calcutta first and then the side of Ganges. And Sri Ramakrishna says, "Mother, what are you doing up there? You're going to fall and hurt yourself. Come down, Mother." And there are occasions when Sri Ramakrishna would want to offer food to mother. Mother would come down from the altar and start eating the food even before he had chanted the mantra. So he would say, "Mother, wait, let me finish chanting the mantra." Whereas on other occasions, mother would ask Sri Ramakrishna to eat the food first. And he would say, "Oh, mother, you want me to eat first?" And then he would start eating the food. He was also seen putting worship flowers on his head, to everybody's horror, because only he is seeing mother, and the sacred offerings are only supposed to be meant for the deities. So I like how Sri Ramakrishna's direct experiences with Mother Kali exemplifies that we can and must humanize our relationship with the divine. For so long as we ourselves are in human form, we must see, hear, talk, and touch God for it to become real. Later, when Swamiji would ridicule and call Sri Ramakrishna's vision as hallucination, Sri Ramakrishna would say in defense, "She je kotha koire, she talks to me." She responds and interacts with Sri Ramakrishna. To seek validation, he asked Mother, "Narendranath is saying all this, is it all false and illusion after all?" And the mother says, if it is all illusion, then why do they all tally with facts? Everything mother says actually comes true. If it has happened already, Sri Ramakrishna learns it is true, and if it has not happened, it eventually comes true. So Sri Ramakrishna actually sees mother much more vividly and clearly than everything else. Mother is the only reality to Sri Ramakrishna. But one thing you may ask, why does Sri Ramakrishna call God or Kali as mother? To this, Sri Ramakrishna said, "This is because mother is an object of great love. One is able to realize God just through this love." After years of God intoxication and intense spiritual practices, when the time was ripe for Sri Ramakrishna's Vedanta practice, Totapuri, the great master of Vedanta, arrives in Dakshineshwar one day and offers to teach Sri Ramakrishna Advaita Vedanta, thinking he is a highly fit aspirant. And Sri Ramakrishna responded by saying, "Let me go and ask my mother." So Sri Ramakrishna wholeheartedly believes his mother knows the best, and he goes to the temple, asks his mother, and comes back and tells Totapuri that mother has sent you to teach me Vedanta. Totapuri was surprised and thought it was silly at that time. But mother taught him lesson later when he faced severe pain due to his illness and could not even give up his body in the Ganges. Mother taught there's no free will. Sri Ramakrishna, as we know, attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi within 3 days, and his mind became completely absorbed in the formless, the infinite existence, consciousness, bliss, the Satchidananda Brahman. It is then when Sri Ramakrishna realizes that the absolute witness consciousness Brahman is none other than Kali herself, which he taught over and over again to all his disciples and devotees in the years to come. Sri Ramakrishna says, the primordial power or Adya Shakti is ever at play. She is creating, preserving, and destroying in play as it were. This power is called Kali. Kali is Brahman, and Brahman is Kali. It is one and the same reality. The difference is only in name and form. When thought of as inactive and formless, he is called Brahman. And when thought of as creator, preserver, and destroyer of this universe, she is called Kali. The Divine Mother is always playful and sportive. This universe is her play. She is self-willed and must always have her own way. She must always have her own way. The Master always regarded Divine Mother as Brahmamai, the non-dual reality. So the Divine Mother represents both the phenomenal as well as the absolute aspect of the reality. All dualities exist in her, and yet she is beyond all dualities. Hence, Sri Ramakrishna gave up all the dualities of ignorance, knowledge, holy, unholy, virtue, sin at Mother's feet and prayed only for pure devotion. Sri Ramakrishna also regarded Divine Mother as Anandamai, full of bliss. In divine ecstasy and bliss, Sri Ramakrishna would often appear like a drunkard. And one day upon asking Holy Mother about this, she said, no, why should you drink wine? You have drunk the nectar of Mother Kali's love. Imagine how blissful this divine state can be. After being in Nirvikalpa Samadhi for 6 long months at a stretch, he one day hears his mother's voice, stay in Bhavamukha, 3 times. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the highest of all states from which one never comes back to this relative world. And for ordinary beings, their bodies simply drop off after certain days. There, Thakur Sri Ramakrishna not only hears his mother's voice, but is also able to come down to this relative plane of existence. And this transitioning between absolute and relative awareness became very natural and common to Thakur for the rest of his life. When he was conscious of this world, he saw his mother Kali in all beings, good and evil alike, and especially in women. As we know, he worshipped his wife, Sri Sarada Devi, our Holy Mother, as the Divine Mother on the night of Falaharini Kali Puja, which was the culmination of all his spiritual practices. This is the other side of divinizing one's relationship with all humans and beings around them, knowing them to be God. As Thakur would say, seeing God with open eyes. In case of Thakur, he's actually seeing Mother Kali in everyone. But for people like us, it is a sadhana to try and see the one in many. Now imagine in whose heart the Divine Mother Kali resides in such a manner and whose mind is absorbed in her bliss all the times, even with the terrible diseases and the physical ailments. Who else can that be other than Kali herself? Sri Ramakrishna is none other than Mother Kali herself, and Mother Kali is none other than Sri Ramakrishna himself. They are inseparable. It is Divine Mother Kali herself who has taken the form of Sri Ramakrishna for the sake of all her children. So earlier we saw Brahman is Kali, and now we see Sri Ramakrishna is Kali. What is going on? It is all one and the same reality, whether we say Brahman, Kali, or Sri Ramakrishna. But it is Kali, or Divine Mother aspect of God, who is the playful one. And if you remember, this universe is her play. She is also the one who liberates us from this play. She is Mahamaya. Without her grace, no embodied being can go beyond this realm of hers. Swamiji himself said how he used to hate Kali and all her ways. And yet, Thakur decided to dedicate him to Kali despite that. And oh, how happy he was when the young Narinda Datta accepted his mother Kali. His happiness knew no bounds. It was only by accepting Mother Kali that Swamiji could accept Sri Ramakrishna as his guru and become his pure instrument. To Sister Nivedita, Swamiji says, "The future you say will call Ramakrishna Paramhansa an incarnation of Kali? Yes, I think there is no doubt that she worked up the body of Sri Ramakrishna for her own ends." On numerous occasions in his lifetime, Thakur actually revealed himself as Mother Kali. Mathur Babu once had the vision of Mother Kali and Shiva in Sri Ramakrishna when Sri Ramakrishna was pacing up and down in his veranda in the Dakshineshwar temple. Once when Rakhal, Swami Brahmananda, was massaging Sri Ramakrishna's feet, he saw Kali in the form of a little girl of 7 or 8 years old, circling the cot in which Sri Ramakrishna laid a few times and merged into him. There are known instances when the Holy Mother saw the face of Mother Kali in place of Sri Ramakrishna's when he was having his meal. In Shamapukur, during his last days, on the night of Kali Puja, Sri Ramakrishna entered into Samadhi and became identified with the Divine Mother and blessed the devotees with the direct experience of the presence of Divine Mother Kali. Before attaining Mahasamadhi in Kashipur and leaving his mortal body, Sri Ramakrishna uttered Mother Kali's name 3 times. When Holy Mother came to know, strangely enough, she burst out saying, "Oh Mother Kali, where did you go, leaving me alone in this world?" She is clearly referring to Sri Ramakrishna as Mother Kali. But in spite of these visions and the qualities that Thakur exhibited, did he say himself that he was Mother Kali? Yes, he did. One day at Kashipur, Sri Ramakrishna said, placing his hand on his heart, "There are 2 persons in this. One, the Divine Mother. Yes, one is she, and the other is a devotee. It is the devotee who broke his arm, and it is the devotee who is now ill. Do you understand? Alas, to who shall I say all this? Who will understand?" Again, speaking to M, Master Mahashaya, he made it very clear. "Know for certain that I and she being the Divine Mother Kali, are one, and there is no difference. If you think of her day and night, that will be thinking of me." So it is all as if it were a grand divine play of Sri Ramakrishna and Mother Kali, which has happened, is happening, and will continue to happen. And I feel we are all blessed to be part of that play. So my prayers to Mother Kali or Sri Ramakrishna, however we wish to call, may she reveal himself unto us and show us the truth. Thank you all for listening. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
It was a privilege to listen to these two very beautiful, very educative extempores, bringing the truths of the life of Sri Ramakrishna as a spiritual aspirant would look at it, as the world will look at it. I make these two divisions, but they are not absolute divisions. People who are not spiritual aspirants, but still have, everybody has the spirit in them, and one day they will become the seekers of it. When the childish play that they indulge in is done. This is again an example Sri Ramakrishna used to give, that why this Divine Mother not give illumination to everybody, and gives this example that the mother is busy doing her chores and the little one, she playing with the toys. Mother does not pay much attention because she has many things to do. But when the children get tired with the toy and they feel hungry, then the child starts crying aloud, and then the mother keeps her chores aside and rushes to the child. So as we spiritual babies, we are not really just playing with these toys in the world. But when we remember our source, when we think of it, when we are tired of this play, this coming and going into this world again and again, and just indulging in the same playthings, we call on our mother, and then she comes and takes us in her lap. Swami Vivekananda has written a nice poem. He has written two poems on Mother Kali. One is in Bengali translated into English. One is the English original poem, Kali the Mother, very famous, both these wonderful poems. And then he has written another poem, My Play is Done. My play is done. It is, of course, with Vivekananda, the play was done long back. Sri Ramakrishna forced him to be amongst all the devotees in this world, to illuminate them, to bring knowledge to them. But that is how, when the play is done, the mother rushes to lift us. There are many beautiful songs about Mother Kali. So we see that Chris took up the ideas in Joseph Campbell's book, that how the mythology and mystery, especially he stressed about the pedagogy, that how they help us, because he is a professional teacher, so naturally he has studied and practices pedagogy, teachings, how one should teach. Now the teaching has many aspects, not that the teaching happens only through speaking. One need not speak directly. The presence is one way of teaching. So Sri Ramakrishna's presence was a great teaching in itself. His presence, it doesn't have to do anything. You know one example, very familiar example. You see people are driving fast on the highway. Suddenly you say everybody is driving within the speed limit, not going zigzag and all. What do you conclude there? There is some special presence there. There is. Now the police is not doing anything as such, just is present there. And that presence has its effect. So Sri Ramakrishna's presence has an effect, teaching effect. We learn from Sri Ramakrishna's presence that here is Ananda Murti. His blissful presence, that really removes the cover on the mystery, and we start seeing the inner blissful core of our being. So this is just the presence teaches. Then another idea of teaching is by example. Again, no words are necessary as such, that it is the presence is enough, and the example is enough. That when you see somebody doing something, you learn from that. Not that that person has to teach. Now you see Sri Ramakrishna. Now it is a very beautiful idea. He gives up everything in this world. Everything that is really unreal. Everything that which is just a passing show. He gives up that for that which is real. It is. So this is, you see, this exemplification. And that is why he is ever in bliss. You can contrast it. Those of us who run after the passing show, what happens? They feel that they are going to get happiness. They never get it. More and more, getting caught in this meaningless pursuit. Have the questions about what this life is about after all. And so this is one, there you see the example of Sri Ramakrishna. Many learned just by that. It is by the presence and example. And then comes that part which this exemplification, this presence assumes the vocal aspect. And then the teachings, they come because they just are affirmations of what the exemplification and the presence is doing. And it is affirmation in words. That is how we common people understand and carry it forward. That now we have, for example, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, a great treatise of the conversations with Sri Ramakrishna. And through that conversation, those words, the words are very powerful. Through the words we can access. We have to have this skill, like people through some tools, they access a lot of information on the internet. Unless you know how to have those tools, you don't have access to them. So it is, some are protected. The access is not in general available. So you have to get the access. So these words becomes the accessing points. From those words you can access Sri Ramakrishna's exemplification and Sri Ramakrishna's direct presence, and thus see the pedagogical, the educational effect that it creates on us. And then Chris presented it so nicely, augmented further by our dear Ananya's this relation between Sri Ramakrishna, a person, and Mother Kali, the reality. Mother Kali is not an image, is not some kind of deity that we worship. Not that, oh, in our family, the Mother Kali worship is going on. Hundreds of years somebody, the great-great-grandfather worshipped, and other worshipped, and this worship. Nothing much is achieved from that kind of worship. But Sri Ramakrishna gave meaning to worshipping. That worship is for experience, and that tried to uncover the mystery behind what is called Mother Kali, to see that the all-pervading Mother Kali is everywhere. She beautifully read out from his description from Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play that when he had his first vision of Mother Kali, and many times people forget that it was the experience of the ultimate formless reality. Its name is Mother Kali. Mother Kali is that it is. There are many beautiful songs that Mother Kali is described by the great devotees. That sometimes she has form, sometimes she has no form. So it is the formless, all-pervading aspect, all-powerful aspect. And therefore Sri Ramakrishna used to answer this question, that how can this, that which is formless can take the form? It is. Now when you say that the all-pervading formless cannot come in form, you are putting that which is freedom absolute in the bondage. That which is free can do anything. You cannot understand, that is a different matter, as if we understand everything. It is, but this is the truth, that which is all-powerful can be formless as well as with form. And the great example Sri Ramakrishna gave, and that is actually, I found that example in some other ancient non-Hindu texts as well, that water is not having that kind of a solid shape or form. But in winter, when it becomes very cold, freezing temperature, then that very formless takes the form of ice. And so that has a form. Now, is the ice and water really different? No, the same substance. So therefore that which is formless, he is also with form. It is. So there are these. Then somebody asked this question that there is that, but what about those who see the God with form always? He extends that analogy very beautifully, and that needs to be pondered, that it is a very important aspect. He says, well, there are certain regions where ice never melts. So there is, they can perceive the form all the time without missing anything. So And it is that is how Sri Ramakrishna's mother Kali. See, it is so practical. I first found Sri Ramakrishna the great value is that God becomes a tangible reality for us, not a matter of just conceptualization, but that is real matter of experience. It is otherwise it is that theories only. One gets tired. But no, in Sri Ramakrishna's life, you see it is right there. And you can see that how he brings those teachings to everybody. That is the purpose of incarnation. God assumes a human form to teach humanity. That is the concept of God incarnation. And as Hindus, we consider many which, like Jesus Christ, is also considered as incarnation of God. Some Christian preachers these days accept this, some don't. One difference is, according to the traditional Christian doctrine, they say your Hindu concept of incarnation or avatar is that the incarnation comes again and again. We don't agree with that. Once and once only Jesus, God assumed human form in Jesus, flesh, the word became flesh once and that's all. But by just insisting and raising voice doesn't mean that becomes a philosophical and logical truth. It is logical and scientific explanation demands that why will it not happen again and again? Every phenomena that we see in the universe, it can repeat again and again. Like he spoke about solar eclipse coming. In my childhood, I had seen one, that total solar eclipse. It is not very childhood. I mean, it is. I was a young man then, and had just about joined Ramakrishna order. At that time, probably Chris was not born then, so it is. So it is like that. So, but then it repeats, and not only that, we can predict when it will repeat. 2044, it will repeat again. So it is predicted. When will the incarnation happen again? And not predicted just now. In Bhagavad Gita, you see the very bold and yet very firm pronouncement of this, that when there is this perceptible decline of religion and the materialism prevails, then to remove this illusion from the minds of people and to bring them towards the proper understanding of the goal and the means of achieving that goal, I come again and again as human being. So it is like that. And this is the idea that we have, very important idea, Yugavatara. The religion or the incarnation of the age, of the particular age, because every age has a peculiarity. It is like people used to cook, say 1,000 years ago also people used to cook. Did they have these modern gas stoves? No, they had different means. And if that means is not working, there were the so-called village, you can call them technicians of that time, they would fix it. Hey, this is how the fire is to be lighted. Now those technicians will not be able to solve the problem of your modern stoves. Hey, what happened? It is not working. Sometimes it is just a minor electrical problem. And we had that, we called somebody, hey, these stoves are not working. He came, looked at, and started laughing. Hey, the plug is out, from the socket. That is why it is not working. They put it back, that's all. So, now this is how the technician changes to bring about the correction. So, now in case of religious teaching also, according to the modern problems, that the new teacher has to come and show the way. I don't want to talk much about it now, but you can see there are many wonderful books about this Sri Ramakrishna as the incarnation for the modern age, showing the special features of this age and how Sri Ramakrishna becomes an effective antidote for all those problems that this modern society in general, modern individual in particular faces. So we had this lot of nice discussion presented to us by these two great speakers. My heartfelt thanks to you both, and I am sure everybody else joins in extending the thanks to them. And we shall have a concluding song. This is a song in Hindi. It is exhorting us to keep on remembering Sri Ramakrishna. And the best way to remember is to repeat the name. So, Sada Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna, Nama Gamana. So, I again request our singers to come forward and present this song. Thank you.
Krishna Ram Krishna Ram Gamana Sada Ram Krishna Ram Krishna Ram Gamana लगा लगन चरणन में मगन बना जामना लगा लगन चरणन में मगन बना जामना लगा लगन चरणन में मगन बना जामना नाम गामना सदा राम कृष्ण नाम गामना प्रभु पूर्ण काम है परम शांति धाम है शुभ कर चिर सुंदर नयनाभिराम है। प्रभु पूर्ण काम है, परम शांति धाम है। शुभ कर चिर सुंदर नयनाभिराम है। जहाँ सत्यमेकमेव वही यह जग सपना मना। सत्यमेकमेव वही यह जग सपना मना। सत्य एकमेव वही यह जग सपना मना। नाम का मना सदा राम कृष्ण नाम का मना। नाथ करे मोहनाश भरे हृदय में प्रकाश। करे कर्म पाश दूर करे सकल त्रास। नाथ करे मोहनाश भरे हृदय में प्रकाश। करे कर्म पाश दूर करे सकल त्रास। उनकी कृपा दृष्टि मिटा दे समूल भव तृषा मना। कृपा दृष्टि मिटा दे समूल भव तृषा मना। कृपा दृष्टि मिटा दे समूल भव तृषा मना। नाम का मना सदा राम कृष्ण नाम का मना। वही परम सुख निधान अकारण करुणावान। सहज करे नत जन को परम पद प्रदान। वही परम सुख निधान अकारण करुणावान। सहज करे नत जन को परम पद प्रदान। वही कमल चरण बना शरण तज दे भ्रम नाम ना। कमल चरण बना शरण तज दे भ्रम नाम ना। कमल चरण बना शरण तज दे भ्रम नाम ना। नाम का मना सदा राम कृष्ण नाम का मना। लगा लगा लगन चरणन में मगन बना जा मना। लगा लगन चरणन में मगन बना जा मना। लगा लगन चरणन में मगन बना जा मना। नाम का मना सदा राम कृष्ण नाम का मना। सदा राम कृष्ण नाम का मना। सदा राम कृष्ण नाम का मना।
So we shall now conclude this symposium part with the closing prayer. Please join in reciting. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Being a special day, first normally we read the next week's programs and then say the closing prayer. Today, now I will read the programs for the coming week. It is March 17th, the next Sunday. The discussion will be on alternative facts, a word that is used a lot in political circles, but it is a different thing, alternative facts. Tuesday, Friday classes at 7:30 p.m. will go on as usual, and every morning, evening, there are the prayer meditation sessions. You are all welcome to attend. Then there is an upcoming day-long spiritual retreat to be given on April 27th, Saturday, April 27th, by Swami Atmagnananandaji, who is the resident minister at Washington, D.C. Center. So he has given many wonderful retreats here, and this year his theme is the poems of Swami Vivekananda. So you are all welcome to join the retreat, but there is a small rider you have to register beforehand joining it. So you can register in the office or you can register on the internet. So now the last part of today's celebration, we had the song Sada Ramakrishna Ramakrishna Nama Gamana. So now there will be Ramakrishna Nama Sankirtanam. And that will kind of conclude, except the another important part. You can have prasad after that. You are welcome to join for the prasad. So now immediately we shall have the Sankirtanam that will be led from there in the hall, in the prayer hall. Those who would like to come there, please feel free to come, but you have to remove your footwear before getting in. You can remove the footwear right where you are, keep it under your chair so that it will not make clutter around the wall here. Thank you very much. Yeah. पापनाशकारणं भवेश्वरं स्वीकृतं च गर्भवास देहपाशमीदृशम् यापितं स्वलीलया च येन दिव्यजीवनम् तं नमामि देवदेव रामकृष्णमीश्वरम्। ॐ श्री विवेकानन्दादि सत्शिष्यसुपूजिताय श्री शारदा देव्या विरतसेविताय श्री रामकृष्ण परमहंसाय अवतार वरिष्ठाय च ते नमः। परब्रह्म पराशक्ति जगद्रूप रामकृष्ण धर्मरक्षणाय जगति देहधारी रामकृष्ण परब्रह्म पराशक्ति जगद्रूप रामकृष्ण धर्मरक्षणाय जगति देहधारी रामकृष्ण जन्मपूतवङ्गदेश विप्रवंश रामकृष्ण चन्द्रमणिक्षुदिराम सौख्यदातृ रामकृष्ण शैशवेऽपि शिल्पगीत कलानिपुण रामकृष्ण पक्षिपङ्क्तिदर्शना रोहादि रामकृष्ण सप्तमाब्दलुप्तपितृ प्रेम बाल रामकृष्ण बाल्य एव विरागाग्नि दह्यमान रामकृष्ण भूतभुवि ध्यानमग्न बालयोगी रामकृष्ण भिक्षुयोगी साधुसंग मोदमान रामकृष्ण विशालाक्षि सद्मपथे विस्मृतात्म रामकृष्ण सूत्रधरण कालपालि तत्प्रतिज्ञ रामकृष्ण धने दत्त भिक्षयाति तुष्यमाण रामकृष्ण सूरिसभाराजमान बालसूर्य रामकृष्ण शैवरात्रिनाटके शिवायमान रामकृष्ण श्रीनिवास वलयकार पूजिताङ्घ्रि रामकृष्ण सदा भक्ति गीत देव पूजनरत रामकृष्ण कृष्ण राधिकायुक्त अधिकान रामकृष्ण लोकशिक्षणं विहाय मोक्षकाम रामकृष्ण दक्षिणेश काली काञ्चनादिनिरत रामकृष्ण भक्तिहीन रासमणिं ताडितवन रामकृष्ण जगन्मातृदर्शनाय रोरुवन हि रामकृष्ण आत्महनन समयदत्त मातृदृष्टि रामकृष्ण सर्वकाल जगन्मातृ दृष्टिभरित रामकृष्ण शिवोन्माद निरासाय कृतोद्वाह रामकृष्ण विवाहे कृते पितवा चलं मनो रामकृष्ण भैरवेय पादतले शिष्यभूत रामकृष्ण तन्त्रशास्त्र साधनेन सिद्धिमाप्त रामकृष्ण भक्तिमग्न चित्तयुक्त परमभक्त रामकृष्ण रामभक्तिविस्मृतात्म वानरसम रामकृष्ण कृष्ण भक्तिविस्मृतात्म राधिकैव रामकृष्ण तोतापुरी विदित वेद शिरस्तत्व रामकृष्ण चिरसमाधि मेरुशिखर दृढस्थान रामकृष्ण साधन समयेऽपि शिक्षितात्मगुरो रामकृष्ण त्रैस्तपूर्व क्षेत्रधर्म चरणनिरत रामकृष्ण सर्वधर्म समानत्व सत्यदर्शि रामकृष्ण एकवस्तु विविध नाम तत्त्वदर्शि रामकृष्ण स्वपत्न्यै विशुद्ध हर्ष बोधदातृ रामकृष्ण प्रयागादितीर्थनगर यटनशील रामकृष्ण तत्र दुःखी जनान्वीक्ष्य मोचिताश्रु रामकृष्ण स्वपत्न्या अपूर्वमातृ दृष्टिभर्तृ रामकृष्ण समाधिस्थ शारदां सुपूजितवन रामकृष्ण ब्राह्मसभ्य केशवादि कर्षितवन रामकृष्ण भक्तसेवकागमं प्रतीक्षमाण रामकृष्ण साधुशेष्य भक्तवृन्द भुङ्गकमल रामकृष्ण साधुशेष्य भक्तहृदय कमलतरणि रामकृष्ण नरेन्द्रादिछात्रकोटि शिक्षमाण रामकृष्ण भक्तपापकर्षणा हृजयाग्रस्त रामकृष्ण रोग दुःख निर्विषण्ण मनोयुक्त रामकृष्ण महासमाधौ हि पर ब्रह्मलीन रामकृष्ण परब्रह्म पराशक्ति जगद्रूप रामकृष्ण धर्मर निर्विकार निराकार परब्रह्म रामकृष्ण जगत् सृष्टि कर्तु पातृ हन्तृ देव रामकृष्ण तैलवत्तिलेषु जगति अभिव्याप्त रामकृष्ण सर्वभूत हृदय देश बुद्धि साक्षी रामकृष्ण साधकाद्यनुग्रहाय वपुर्धर श्री रामकृष्ण सुंदर तनु दीप्त वदन कृपादृष्टि रामकृष्ण सर्वकाल मंदहास रुचिरवक्त्र रामकृष्ण सुमनसापि छेदयोग्य मृदु शरीर रामकृष्ण वेदशास्त्र पुराणादि सारवेतृ रामकृष्ण सर्ववेदशास्त्र वा प्रमाणकर्तृ रामकृष्ण ज्ञानी जनो यस्य पदेर्भकायितो रामकृष्ण कुशलमते तीक्ष्णमना प्राज्ञकवे रामकृष्ण दीनबन्धु दया सिन्धु संश्रितगति रामकृष्ण अपरिशुद्ध गिरिशचन्द्र शरणदातृ रामकृष्ण पुत्र शोकतप्त मातृ शान्तिदायि रामकृष्ण कुष्ठरोगी घोर रुजा विनाशयसि रामकृष्ण वृत्सुवर्ण समानत्व दर्शितवन रामकृष्ण सर्वदशा कनक काम वर्जितयति रामकृष्ण आमरणं प्रास्खलितं ब्रह्मचर्य रामकृष्ण निखिलतमोशेषहन्तृ भासमान रामकृष्ण घनीभूत्य सत्यवयुन हर्षरूप रामकृष्ण प्रेमरूप पूर्णरूप भक्तिरूप रामकृष्ण सकल कुवासना बीज नाशकारी रामकृष्ण कलुषहरण मधुरधरण भवसुवैद्य रामकृष्ण सहज नित्य बुद्ध मुक्त भूतरूप रामकृष्ण ध्यान योग सिद्धि मचिर पाप भवान रामकृष्ण निर्विकल्प सिद्धिमाप्त राजयोगी रामकृष्ण देवनाम निशामगात् अश्रुविमुग रामकृष्ण लोकसंग्रहाय सतत कर्म निरत रामकृष्ण कृष्ण योग सिद्धि तुल्य पाद धूलि रामकृष्ण योगगम्य योगिगम्य देवदेव रामकृष्ण निखिल योगिपते योग सिद्धिदातृ रामकृष्ण परब्रह्म पराशक्ति जगद्रूप रामकृष्ण धर्मरक्षणाय जगति देहधारि राम वृक्षमहन्यदृष्टमपि भवत्येव रामकृष्ण अज्ञगूढ ईश्वरोऽपि तथा भवति रामकृष्ण मायया पिहितत्वात् अवीक्षितस्तु रामकृष्ण हेमकामगणं कुमायेति वेद्मि रामकृष्ण तस्य बन्धुरहङ्कार इति ऋतो रामकृष्ण भक्तिहीन पण्डितस्तु गृध्रसमो रामकृष्ण साधिकार पुरुष एव गुरुर्भवेद् रामकृष्ण असति जगति मग्नजनो अमुक्त एव रामकृष्ण साधु संग नाम जपो मोक्ष करो रामकृष्ण मलिन वासनात्य हेहि साधन कृत रामकृष्ण सस्पृहस्य मुक्तिवचनमस्ति किं नु रामकृष्ण आत्मजय स्त्रीषु मातृभाव एव रामकृष्ण श्रद्धधान इमां मुक्तिम् अचिरमाप रामकृष्ण ईश्वरे प्रपत्तिरस्ति सुलभपथो रामकृष्ण विना शुद्ध मलिन विवेकेन मृगो रामकृष्ण परानुरक्त ईश्वरे मुक्त एव रामकृष्ण ज्ञान कर्म भक्ति पथा विमुक्तिदा रामकृष्ण निर्गुणं च गुणयुतं च परब्रह्म रामकृष्ण ईश्वरोऽपि याचनाधि कृष्णिरभूद् रामकृष्ण हरे नाम कृष्ण भयं नास्ति रामकृष्ण परब्रह्म पराशक्ति जगद्रूप रामकृष्ण धर्मर देहधारी रामकृष्ण अनायास मृत्युमेव यच्छ गुरो रामकृष्ण दैन्यशून्य जीवनं प्रयच्छ देव रामकृष्ण क्लेशरहितमेव मनो कुरु रामकृष्ण सत्यपूज्यवतो मेस्तु मुखे सदा रामकृष्ण अहिंसा च रक्तगता भवतु हरे रामकृष्ण पुण्यपाप विवेकोऽपि भवेदेव रामकृष्ण ब्रह्मचर्य शक्तिरस्तु मे मनसि रामकृष्ण हृद्रवृत्तिरपि मदीय हृदि च मास्तु रामकृष्ण मतिं देहि बलं देहि पदे स्थलं रामकृष्ण शुद्ध भक्तिरपि तवास्तु पदाम्बुजे रामकृष्ण राम एव कृष्ण एव भवान् उभय राम कृष्ण परब्रह्म पराशक्ति जगद्रूप राम कृष्ण धर्मरक्षणाय जगति देहधारी राम कृष्ण परब्रह्म पराशक्ति जगद्रूप राम कृष्ण धर्मरक्षणाय जगति देहधारी राम कृष्ण. Now we will chant the previous one, Anandadayaka. Anandadayaka Paramahansa Anandadayaka Paramahansa Kali Priya Gadadhara Rama Krishna Kali Priya Gadadhara Rama Krishna Anandadayaka Paramahansa Anandadayaka Paramahansa Kali Priya Gadadhara Rama Krishna Kali Priya Gadadhara Rama Krishna Dharma Swarupa Dharma Rakshaka Dharma Swarupa Dharma Rakshaka Sarada Manohara Shantidayaka Dharma Swarupa Dharma Rakshaka Sarada Manohara Shantidayaka Anandadayaka Paramahansa Anandadayaka Paramahansa Kali Priya Gadadhara Rama Krishna Kali Priya Gadadhara Rama Krishna Rama Krishna Rama Krishna Rama Krishna Rama Krishna Kali Priya Gadadhara Rama Krishna Brahmanandam Shivam Shantam Premarupam Niranjanam Yogishamadbhutam Nityam Akhandadvaitalakshanam Vijnanam Triguణatītam Turiya Bhedasaunytam Subodham Saradangshaiva Vivekashashibhushanam Samanvaya Mahacharyam Yugadharma Swarupinam Sarvadeva Swarupam Sri Ramakrishnam Namamyaham Sarvadeva Swarupam Sri Ramakrishnam Namamyaham. Jai Sri Ramakrishna Dev ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarada Devi ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda ki Jai. Jai Shri Buddha Deva ki Jai. Jai Shri Jesus Christ ki Jai. Let us meditate for 5 minutes and then go down for the prasad.